Good evening, followers, and welcome to another Townsville Stormwatch and surrounding districts video update for Tropical Cyclone Titania on this Saturday, the 13th of February 2016. Okay, so first let's have a look at what Titania looks like using the satellite imagery from the Bureau of Meteorology. And here she is swirling out here off the coast of around the Fraser Island area of Queensland and heading in this south to southeasterly track. Her friend Tropical Cyclone Winston is still swirling as well, heading in this southerly to southeasterly track. If we now have a look at the Bureau of Meteorology's cyclone forecast track map, and we can see that at 4 p.m. this afternoon, Titania was sitting right here in between Noumea and the Queensland coastline. She is expected to adopt this south to southwesterly track, but de-intensify as she does so. So by 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, February the 14th, the Bureau are forecasting that this cyclone will become just a deep low pressure system. As she transitions into that low pressure system, she is going to continue in her south to southwesterly track towards the Queensland coast, still maintaining this deep low pressure system status, and at 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon is expected to be in between Brisbane and the Fraser Island coastline, still well offshore to not pose any threat to the Queensland coastline. Then she makes a slight move to the west and closer to the coastline, still remaining as this low pressure system. And then she adopts this very wobbly sort of northerly track back up the coastline as a low pressure system. At this stage, it is Cyclone Titania is not expected to re-intensify into a cyclone anytime within the next week or so. So she's going to continue being this low pressure system as she continues to track back up the coastline of Queensland. So if we look now at the Tropical Cyclone Information Bulletin put up by the Bureau at 4:35 p.m. This afternoon, Saturday the 13th of February, and they are saying that at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, Saturday, Tropical Cyclone Titania, which was a Category 2 cyclone with central pressure 984 hectopascals, was located over the central Coral Sea near latitude 22.3 south, longitude 160.4 east, which is about 810 kilometers east-northeast of Fraser Island. The cyclone is moving south at about 26 kilometers per hour. Tropical Cyclone Titania should continue moving in a general southwards direction tonight and is expected to transition into a deep subtropical low pressure system during Sunday. The remnant subtropical low is not expected to impact the Queensland coast directly. However, it will generate powerful surf along the coast from Sunday and into Monday in areas south of Sandy Cape, including the Sunshine Coast and the Gold Coast. So let's now look at some of the features as to why Titania could be de-intensifying into this deep low pressure system. And here is what the sea surface temperatures look like at 6 p.m. this evening. And what we can see is Titania is in this light orange to very light orange area of the map at the moment. And that means that the temperature or the sea surface temperatures are getting cooler as she moves out of this tropical warm waters into the cooler Southern Ocean waters. Still part of the Coral Sea, but more influence from the Southern Ocean than the warm seas of the Coral Sea. So that's where she is at the moment. If we now look forward through to 6 p.m. tomorrow night, and what we can see there is that, well, the waters continue, she continues to head south into these cooler waters. So that could be one of the reasons why Tatiana does de-intensify quite rapidly overnight tonight and into tomorrow, because she is encountering these cooler sea surface temperatures. For Winston, though, he's still in these warmer type waters, so that's why he's able to keep his structure and his strength for a little bit longer. But as he continues to head south, he is going to start encountering these cooler waters as well. So now, if we look more so for Winston's lifespan now, and we go through to 6 p.m. on Monday night, and what we can see is these warmer waters have definitely gone further north, leaving Winston in these cooler sea surface temperatures. Titania also well into these cooler sea surface temperatures. So that could be a big reason as to why these two systems de-intensify at a quite rapid rate. We have a look now here at the relative humidity for cyclone Titania, and what we can see is we've got a lot of this pinky purpley type color all the way around the system. Cyclones absolutely and totally detest this pink and purple shading, because what it is representing is a lot of warm, or more so a lot of dry air. And as you can see, that this dry air is wrapping around the system. At this time, Titania is in this region here. So while she's still in this kind of moist blue shading, we've got a lot of this pink and purpley colouring just starting to wrap itself around this system. If we go through now and have a look at what happens at 6 p.m. tomorrow night, and we can see that this air just continues to wrap itself around the system, effectively strangling and killing this system, hence why there's this rapid de-intensification of the system. So here we are, 6 p.m. Tomorrow night, that's Sunday night, and pretty much the system at this stage is sitting around this area here, and so therefore it's in this purpley area, and this dry air is just really playing a lot of havoc with it at this time. Winston is still in these favourable conditions with these dark blue and light blue shaded areas, but he's also could be experiencing a bit of dry air come later in his lifespan. If we now go through to Monday night at 6 p.m. just to see the dry air and what it does with Winston. And we can see here that this dry air is just really playing havoc with these two systems. Titania is completely in this dry air sort of region. Winston beginning to feel the effects of this dry air, therefore should see some de-intensification of him quite soon, as this dry air just continues to wrap around these systems and kill them. We have a look now at what these systems look like in relationship to their winds, and this is from the GFS. And well, at 9 p.m. tonight, here is Tropical Cyclone Titania. Does not look very much like a cyclone at this stage. Her center is starting to become very elongated. The winds to her south side and southwest have decreased quite a bit. They're still a bit strong, but are nothing like what they were during the prime of this system's life. And she's sitting here off the Fraser Coast of Queensland, in between the Fraser Coast and New Caledonia. As for Winston, though, he is still churning up things here and has still got a very good, strong centre to him with these purplish winds wrapping right around the center of this system, and a lot of power here to his southern side and southeastern side. So Winston still looking fairly good at this stage at 9 p.m. tonight. Now let's have a look at what happens at 9 p.m. tomorrow night. And what we can see here is that tropical cyclone Tatiana has now got this very elongated center to her. Not a cyclone any longer at this time. At best, a very strong low pressure system. Still packing quite a lot of winds to her south and to her southwest as well, but definitely out of contention for being a tropical cyclone at this stage. Winston, he's still spinning up here just to the southeast of New Caledonia and to the southwest of Tonga. Not really impacting any islands at this stage. He's just spinning around. Interesting thing though with Winston is that he made this southerly track further to the south and is now seems to be bouncing back up towards the north. So that'll be very interesting to watch over the coming days to see just what he does as he bounces back up of what this looks to be a high pressure system down here over New Zealand. He seems to bounce off that and head back up north. So let's see where Winston's going to be at 9 p.m. on Monday night, and well, the remnants of Tatiana as well. Okay, so at 9 p.m. on Monday night, what we can see is Tatiana is no more. While she does have this good sort of circular motion around its center, the winds are not there. They're not wrapping around the center, so she's definitely hasn't transformed back into a cyclone. She's still just this low pressure system that's continuing to move ever so slowly back up to the north up the Queensland coast. Winston, he's moved over closer to the Tonga. He's now to the south east of Fiji and directly to the west of Tonga at this stage. He has de-intensified a little, as you can see by these purple shaded winds. They've certainly not wrapping right around the system as they were earlier in his life form. So probably around a category 2 cyclone at this stage, maybe a category 3, but very, very marginally. So for the Tonga region and perhaps Fiji as well, could feel a little of the effects of Winston. Certainly not as bad as if he was totally over them. So at 9 p.m. on Monday night, Winston will be over here, and it'll be a case of Tatiana, who it's a difficult name to get your mouth around, especially on a Saturday night. So that's where those two systems will be at 9 p.m. on Monday night. So now we have a look at what the Euro is going to say about these two systems, and this is at 9 p.m. tonight. We can see that Tatiana is here off the Fraser Coast, just like the GFS said that it was. A lot of wind to its east, in its southern and its western quadrant. Not so much to its north, which is to be expected with these types of systems. And Winston is also over here, pretty much parallel to Tatiana, and but also a fair bit more powerful than what Tatiana is at the moment. So Tatiana is probably cyclone category 1 at this stage, maybe a category 2, but only very, very weak category 2 system, most likely a 1 by this stage, whereas Winston would be a category 2, possibly 3 by 9 p.m. tonight. So around about 9 o'clock Monday night, 9 o'clock Sunday night, we can see that Tatiana has pretty much lost a lot of her strength at this stage. Her winds have now moved from the south and now up around her northern quadrant, plus her western quadrant as well. Not so much on her eastern side, but definitely on the western and northern side of her, as she's now transitioned into this low pressure system. Winston is also feeling effects of some de-intensification at this stage, and he's now probably at a very weak Category 2 cyclone, possibly Category 1, as he continues to just sit here way to the south east of New Caledonia and to the southwest of Tonga. He just seems to be sitting there for a little while, not quite sure what he's going to do at this stage, but just sitting there and spinning, but also de-intensifying as he goes. So at 9 p.m. on Monday, we can see that Tatiana has still got this good sort of circulation, but nothing like what she was when she was a tropical cyclone. Now just turned into this low pressure system with her winds being to the west, not affecting the coastline of Queensland at all. They're well off the shore by 9 p.m. on Monday. As for Winston, he's continued, he's travelled a little further north now. It's like he's bounced off this high pressure system down here, and he's bounced off, and he's now heading northwards. He's also de-intensified quite a bit as he's done so. His winds are now mostly, well, they're still to the southern and eastern side of him. So by this stage, we could say that he's probably a Category 1 cyclone, if not certainly a deep low pressure system by this time, 9 p.m. on Monday. If we look now at windy TY to see what the winds are doing at the Earth's surface, and we can see Winston, he's very, very powerful here, and we can see Tatiana starting to lose a lot of her strength down here off the Fraser Coast. This could be because the systems are quite close together and could be interacting with each other, or it could be just because of the position of these systems. We now move through to tomorrow night at 9 p.m. and what we can see is these systems moving in this southerly to perhaps southeasterly sort of way. Titania continuing to lose her strength, whereas Winston continues to be just as powerful as he was. Now moving through to Monday 9 p.m, which is where we will leave it, because after that models do become a little bit unreliable at that stage. And we can see Winston moving in this northeasterly direction. Titania is not moving a whole lot at this stage. She seems to be just sitting off the Fraser Coast line at this stage. Models are predicting that she will start moving towards the north, but here's Winston, hasn't really lost a lot of intensity according to Windy TY at this stage, and heading over here towards Fiji and those sorts of islands over there. So it will be very interesting to see which one of these actually is going to be correct. Will it be the European model? Will it be the GFS model? Or will it be Windy TY? For the Fiji Islands, we're hoping it's not Windy TY, because looking at this model here, looks like Winston could continue to punch quite a big impact on the islands at this stage. Looking to be a Category 3, possibly Category 4 cyclone, just looking at the winds and this purple shading of winds over here. So if this scenario does come about, won't be very good news for the Fijian Islands at all. Tatiana, not going to impact Queensland whatsoever. By this time, she has turned into a tropical low. She is not a cyclone any longer, and has no great desire to become a cyclone again. So her life is over at that stage. Lastly, we'll have a look now at Earth Null Score, and also another website that shows us what the winds are doing across the surface of the Earth. Here we can see Winston, quite powerful, good looking eye at this stage, and just spinning around there in between these two islands here. And Titania not looking too good at the moment. Her eye becoming very elongated at this stage, and it won't be long before she will be no longer. So yeah, that was probably going to be the end of Tatiana. Well, folks, that's all we've got for tonight on Tropical Cyclone Titania. And because the Bureau of Meteorology are forecasting this system to be a low pressure system by tomorrow morning, this will most likely be our final video update for Tropical Cyclone Titania. Of course, we'll keep our eyes on it, and if it does re-intensify unexpectedly, we will certainly bring you more video updates. But until our next system comes through, thank you for watching and good night.